Welcome to Zoltron. Today I figured we'd do a tutorial on how to use Gmarket just because some people seem intimidated by it. And if you're not using this service, you're definitely spending a lot more money than you need to be, or you're just not getting like the great new Korean robots that are coming out. So this is what it's going to look like when you put it into your web address. So it looks pretty unfriendly. So you're just going to click over here on global, switch it over to English, and then you'll get something that's a lot more easy to interpret. And then if it's your first time, you're going to need to click register, where you just put in your username, your email, a password. That's basically it. And you agree to whatever. Yeah, I guess you're going to agree to all of that and then submit it. Very simple. All right. And then once you're registered, your page is going to look like this. So you might need to fill out your information here about making sure that you got the currency you're looking for, the language, and the country you're planning on having it shipped to, and just make sure all that's correct. And then all you need to do is start typing what you're looking for into the search box. So this website works a lot better if you're doing it in Korean. If you try to look up things in English, you're going to have some very limited success. So it'll still work, but to make sure that you're getting all the results, and then of course you click over toys here just to make sure that you're filtering out the results that you don't want. And what I like to do is if it's something that just came out, I'd also like to click over to newly listed. But if I know specifically what I'm looking for, I'm just going to want to look up the name of that toy in English. So I'll just open a new tab and I'll look up. So for example, I'll just look this up specifically. I'll just get it from the AI and I'll just copy the writing in Korean, and then I'll just paste it into the search bar and we'll try it out. All right, so that didn't work out so well. So let me try that again. Okay, I don't know what that was about. I tested this out earlier and it worked. For some reason, it didn't this time. So here's what I want right there, which is the correct spelling. And you can see from the sources, this is the right one. So I'll just take that back to Gmarket. Okay, that's crazy. I don't know why that was so difficult. All right, so this is the phrasing right there. This one works. I checked it this time. It definitely does work. So I'll put that in the search. Okay, and there. Now we have 35 results. So that's pretty good. We've got a few from reputable sellers, and then we got some that are from less reputable sellers, which I would still trust regardless. And then you can see the price before shipping and possible tariffs. So you're going to want to look at those prices as well. This one seems a little bit suspicious, but let's check it out anyway. So you just click on the title and it'll open up a new tab for you. And then this is a bad sign to me. If it doesn't have, when the shipping will start, don't bother even doing it. And then if it's from outside of Korea, it'll tell you a message here that it's being shipped from outside of Korea. In that case, you should not buy it. It's probably a Chinese version. So if you're going to buy from China, you might as well just use AliExpress. But anyway, I'm just going to click on every single available match that's from a reputable source. And then there's one specific source that I like to buy from that has served me very well. All right, so we got all those tabs open. So now I'm just going to go and choose the buy it now option on all of these. They don't do combined shipping, so there's really no point in adding things to the cart. It's just a waste of time. So you just click buy it now and you open up several different tabs. And then you're just going to compare the prices. And some of these are not going to ship to your country. So some of these options won't be available, but some of them will. And that will give you a good idea of the price. And then we'll just click confirm on this one. Sometimes you'll need to click the drop down box to get a selection, but all of those went through. So we see that we have DHL, and then USPS is always the more expensive option. And then this is the price before shipping, $131. And then, of course, this address is not my address. This is the address of Toy Arena, which was one of the stores that I used a lot back in the eBay days when I was first collecting foreign Transformers. So you're always going to select DHL because they're the best. So $225, not bad. This one doesn't ship to the US, so don't bother. DHL, $203, better. DHL, $220, not too bad. This one doesn't ship. $184, you can't beat that, guaranteed. That's as low as it's going to go. $197, also very good. And then nothing on this one. Okay, so we narrowed it down to some options. We got the price that I like the best, and then you can also click back just to make sure everything looks right to you. Usually, all you need to do is just check the pictures, make sure everything looks good, and then you can check the description. You expand the description here just to make sure you're getting the product you want, because it'll give you good images of what it is specifically. There's really no reading involved. And then personally, this is one of my favorite sites to use. It's not translating it now for some reason. Okay, and there we go. So Shinsei Mall has been doing really well. I haven't seen any prices that are lower than this seller. So this is the one you definitely want. You go to buy it now. And then you select the DHL, and there you go, $184 after everything. There might be tariffs. I had to pay like $35 in tariffs on this one, I remember. And then you just enter down here. You're going to put in your credit card information. You're going to select your currency to dollars or whatever your currency is. And then you click this box and then check out. And that's the entirety of everything. That's it. It's that simple. I prefer this over using eBay for a couple of reasons. So if I go to eBay and look up the same toy, this is the lowest price. So I'm already paying more on eBay. Even if I do an offer, I might get $20 off this price, but I'm not going to get it for much cheaper than this. And then the other thing about eBay is that you have these long shipping times. So you can expect for 2 or 3 weeks of shipping. On Gmarket, with this seller that I've been using, it always comes like in 8 days. So you really can't beat the shipping time. You can't beat the prices. This is the way you need to buy the figures. Okay, we'll do one more. Why not? So we'll just look up heavy iron because he's a hot ticket item right now, and he's big. So this is not going to be a good option if you're trying to buy a figure that's small, but this is the best option if you're buying a figure that's one of the giant figures. So we go ahead and put that in the search box. And then I'm getting some options that are not toys, so I'm just going to make sure I click over toys here. Again, I'm not going to waste my time clicking international shipping because that just limits my options and screens out some good options, and it also inserts options that still don't even offer international shipping, so it's kind of just a waste of time. So I'll just choose the top 4 just for the sake of brevity. And then same thing, I'll just put the buy it now. And then here's a drop-down box I have to click. Okay, this one ships. It's $90 after shipping, $153, which is incredibly low for a figure of this quality. This one is $118, which is absolutely unbelievable. I actually am suspicious of that price, but it's possible. This one doesn't ship. And this one's $138. So before I check out and put in my credit card information, again, I would go back and just double check everything, make sure it's from a reputable, well, I don't even really need to check that it's a reputable seller. I just need to make sure that it's the item I want. This is the W version. I would check the description too, just to be extra careful. Yes, it's the same robot. Everything looks like it's in order. And then I would go ahead and do the order. I'm curious about this one that was $118. That's insane to me. So let me click back on this one. It's also saying Shinsei Mall. So that's interesting. I guess I could have got it for even $20 cheaper. I don't know. But yeah, I would just double check everything and make sure that the shipping time is going to be soon and that it doesn't say that it's shipping from another country. Like $118 is amazing, but I mean $174 for this figure is also not a bad price. The prices on eBay are also pretty decent, but why spend $60 more or $50 more if you really don't have to? All right, let's do one more because I am interested in getting Phantom Hornet. So I already copied it here. We'll just paste that in the search box. Make sure that that works. So we got a bunch of Phantom Hornets, and then I'm just going to click it over to toys just to simplify it a little bit. And we'll just click on the prices. So before shipping, the prices are looking really good. Okay, so I selected from several, maybe I tried 8 different sellers, and this is the lowest price I could find was $69, which is quite a bit. And that's where the Gmarket is actually not very good. If you're buying small figures like this or smaller, then you're better off probably doing eBay because the eBay prices, this is already $75. This is already cheaper on, or actually this is a little bit cheaper on Gmarket, $69. But you're almost paying the same as eBay prices. The difference is this one is December 10th to December 24th. If I buy this from Gmarket, I'll have it in almost a little bit over a week. Depending on the holidays, it might be a little bit longer, but I'll get it sooner, and that's kind of worth to me. Well, it's already cheaper, so it's already still worth using Gmarket, but the prices are not going to be much better, to be honest, for small figures. All right, and then the last thing I'll show off is just a warning about what you should look out for on Gmarket is I haven't had issues with this, but I already know what it's going to be. So if I just look up, like I'm looking up Miniforce, I just look it up in English. You should always use the Korean spellings of everything because you're less likely to get results from outside of Korea. I just look at these and I'll go ahead and switch it over to the newly listed because maybe I'm just browsing. I just want to see everything that's available for Miniforce. So you're going to see a lot of this guy. I forget what he is, Penta X or something. So the price is pretty good, but it's right here that you're going to look out for. It's right here. It's already going to take. It's shipped from outside of Korea, which means it's coming from Japan or China. And it's going to take 2 weeks to arrive in Korea on top of them shipping it from Korea. So it's going to be about 3 weeks just to receive this thing. You might as well just order it from AliExpress, and you are going to get a knockoff. You're not going to get the Korean version, and you can also tell because this is Chinese writing. So you're already going to get. So you need to watch out for the Chinese versions of things, especially if you're going for older toys. You're almost always going to get the Chinese results. So yeah, that pretty much concludes like the whole tutorial. It's very simple. Once you get into it, it's easier than it's just as easy as using eBay or anything else, and you're going to save a lot more money doing it this way. Oh yeah, and the last thing I wanted to say is the customer service on here is excellent. It's hard to get to. It's a little bit annoying. You have to go and fill out this really antiquated, old-fashioned looking form. So you do end up filling out a really old form under your like Gmarket, and it is hard to get to that form. But once you fill out the form, they're very good with the customer service. If you're missing a piece or something was defective, they'll fix it right away. So I have had 3 shipments that were missing pieces or were defective, and they fixed all of them. They just sent me out the missing pieces, so it's really not an issue. But yeah, highly recommend. You should definitely do it this way if you're getting into the market. And I think at this point, everybody should be because these robots are just easily the best of what's available.